So let's move on to what all of this information means. I showed you the core curriculum, and it had a lot of numbers on there: English 1301, biology 1406, psychology, math. What does all of that mean? When you come into our advising office, we give you a degree plan. We'll highlight the core classes on it. We'll talk to you about the credit hours in each. And you need to be able to know what all that means. So let's talk about that really quickly. So when we're looking at English 1301, for example, you're taking an English class. It is a 1301 class. What does all that mean? When you look at the first number, the 1 or a 2, for example, a psychology 2301, what does the first number usually mean? The first number represents if a class is a freshman level class or a sophomore level class. So at community college, we only have 1,000 level or 2,000 level courses. Anything that is 3,000 or 4,000 level is usually done at the university. So your first 2 years, you're doing your freshman level and your sophomore level courses. Freshman level courses are usually the courses that you take when you first come in, like an English, a first level math, history, those types of things. Sophomore level courses are generally courses that students take when they're in their second year of college. Sometimes some students take them in their first year, but those 2,000 level courses, usually instructors are expecting that you know how to write the papers, do the research, have those skills down that the freshman level courses are kind of supposed to teach you. So if you're thinking about taking a psychology class at the sophomore level, their expectations are maybe a little higher than what a freshman level course might be. So if you feel like you need to, I always tell students, if you're coming in English, if you're ready for English Composition 1, English 1301, that should be your very first class that you take, because that is your foundation building class. That's going to teach you how to do the research, how to cite the research, making sure that you're following all the parameters for research mechanisms and parameters that you need to make sure that you're not plagiarizing or anything like that. They're going to teach you those skills because the psychology and the government and the higher level science and math classes are going to expect that you are independent and you can handle that information without having to come in and learn that in your in those classes, because they are assuming that you've already learned this information. So that's the first number. The second number, you know how we talked about in the second number we talked about credit hours. That second number represents the credit hours. So if it's an English 1301 class, the 3 credit hours is a 3 credit hour. The 3 is a 3 credit hour course. Or if it's a 4, it is a 4 credit hour course. So if we look at the core curriculum requirements, if you look right here, 6 credit hours, you need 2 English classes. There it is, English 1301 and English 1302. Those are the 2 classes that you need. The second number tells me that that's going to equal to 6 credit hours. That's how you calculate your credit hours. And then those credit hours are used to calculate your GPA. Letter grades are translated into numerical values, and quality points are generated to complete your GPA. So, in high school, an A was a 4.0, a B is a 3.0, C is a 2.0. Some of you in high school had like 5.0 for honors or AP classes. Ours are just very generalized, basic. A is a 4 point, B is a 3 point, C is a 2 point, D is a 1 point, and an F is a 0. We take the grade that you make, give it a certain point, and then we multiply that with your credit hours to give you quality points. So if you are taking 10 credit hours this semester and you made an A, a B, a C, we will add those or multiply those numbers, add the quality points up, and we divide by the credit hours, and you get your GPA. This is really important because students you guys need to be aware of where you stand at all times. I'm a probation advisor, and I work with students that are below 2.0. So students that are below 2.0 have certain restrictions on their accounts. And if you continue to stay below a 2.0 every semester, then it might lead you to being suspended and not being able to attend call-in for a year or more. So what we tell students is always be aware of the GPA. When you transfer to a four-year university, they always expect a certain kind of GPA. Students need to be aware of what those expectations are for those universities. If you're planning on applying to a certain program at call-in, like the nursing program or the health information management or dental hygiene program, those types of things, they expect a certain GPA, and they expect a certain GPA in specific classes. Knowing how to calculate your GPA is really important so that you are maintaining those levels that you need. Certain GPAs allow you to take honors classes, like a 3.5 allows you to be in honors classes. Certain GPAs allow you to get scholarships at the four-year university. So knowing how to do that is always to your benefit. And one way to do that, you can use the old original calculations that I have kind of laid out here on this. But then we also have what is called the GPA calculator. And there's a link right here, but I'm actually going to show you how to get to it on our website. If you go back to our home page, and you go to Student Resources, Academic Support, you will find the grade point calculator. And this is a tool that I use as an advisor all the time because students come in, especially if they're probation students that are below a 2.0, they need to know if I repeat a course, what is that going to do for me? If I take new courses, how is that going to affect my GPA? This is what my GPA is right now. What do I need to do to fix it? So if I give you an example, last semester, for example, I took a 3 credit hour class and I made a C in it. And you don't have to do any you don't have to put any specific numbers in or anything. You just put straight credit hours, the grade, and it calculates the grade point, and you could compute it, and it gives you the GPA at the bottom. You've completed 7 hours, you're at a 2.5, these were your quality points, and we're looking at this grade point average right here. So I took a 3 credit hour class, and I didn't do so well. I made an F in it. I'm going to compute that. This already tells me that I'm below a 2.0. You're going to come see me as an advisor, as a student. I'm going to be the probation advisor that you see, right? Actually, any one of our advisors can do probation advising. But you might come and ask me, what can I do to fix this? I'll pull this GPA calculator up. I will show you how to do this, and I'll say, all right, this is what your grade is. And you know what? If you repeat this course and you make a C, this is the fastest way to fix your GPA. Look what happens when you fix that GPA, fix that class and retake that class again, versus maybe not taking that class again and just adding other classes. And say, you know what, I'm usually like a B, C student, so pretty consistent. What is that going to do for me? Do you see how slowly that GPA goes up if you take new classes versus fixing what you didn't do well in? So we'll talk about these things. We'll talk to you about what's the best way. Sometimes I'll even have students come in and ask me, okay, I'm trying to transfer to a 4-year university. This is what my GPA is right now. Can you help me figure out how many classes more I need to make sure I get to this other GPA? You know, I need a 3.0 and I'm at a 2.8. What do I need to do? I have some Ds, I have some, so we'll take a look at all that and we'll do some calculations and we'll help you through that process. You know, we'll kind of give you guidance on how to help yourself through that process so that you can plan for your following semester and meet your goals that you need to meet at the 4-year university or getting yourself back to a 2.0 or whatever it is that you need to be able to do. This GPA calculator is a great tool. I have students that are on below a 2.0 and they might be, you know, at the verge of a suspension, and I tell them, all right, there's this one class that you might need to make sure you really focus on if this is what your GPA is right now, and they make sure that they allot the time that they need to work on those courses so that they can help pull up that GPA. This GPA calculator is a great visual for you to be able to see where you stand and what you need to do to get to the point you need to get to.